What just happened? We just completely lost that last live stream. It froze, so we're back. We are back. What is up, Star Wars fans? For the second time on a Thursday at 1 p.m. 1:08 now. We got a lot to talk about today. Like I said in the first dead live stream, the Bad Batch episode 4 was yesterday. We got Mandalorian things to talk about. A lot of fun things to go on in this live stream. A lot of fun things to talk about. And of course, as I'm sure you saw in the thumbnail, we might be wrong about whatever the heck is going on with this Mandalorian season 3. I don't think people actually understand what I mean when I say that there could be something going on here that is not what we think, to say the least. What's going on here? Are we live? I don't understand. Are we live? I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. Okay. So, the Bad Batch season 2, episode 4. Are we live? Is anybody here? Are we? What's going on here? What's going on here today? All right, whatever. We're just gonna keep going like I am live. I believe I'm live. I don't know what's going on. But without further ado, the Bad Batch season 2, episode. Freeze again? Oh, what's going on here today? Is my Wi-Fi? What's going on? I don't know. But we're gonna keep going. Okay. So it was kind of a filler episode. I mean, half the cast wasn't even there. Hunter and Echo were off on their own mission doing something else completely, and they weren't even there. So that was just kind of dumb. Honestly, I thought it was stupid that half of them weren't there. Half of them weren't even paying attention. Okay, I think we're good. We're live. All right. Yeah, we're good. Okay. We're getting the okay from the crew. All right. Yeah. So we're good. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Not great. It was a filler episode, to say the least. Like literally just the definition of a filler episode. That's for sure. And I thought it was all right. Not spectacular, not terrible. It was just okay. But is that what we expect from the Bad Batch? Is that what we want from the Bad Batch? Is just okay? Like, is anybody freaking out that the Bad Batch episode was bad? It was called Faster. It was only 26 minutes long, and it's the team enters a colorful and dangerous world of racing. So it's a lot like the pod racing in The Phantom Menace. Not a lot going on there, but it was cool. It was cool, to say the least. It was just kind of dumb to see a filler episode so early on in the season and just nobody really cared, honestly. I mean, nobody's talking about the episode. I didn't even make a breakdown video because it wasn't even that good. It just seems as though the Bad Batch is taking a big hit because of the fact that nobody cares. And it kind of had the same effect on the first season. The only good thing about the first season was what the heck happened. Star Wars Politics today saying, I wouldn't say bad, but I'm glad I didn't stay up. True. If I stayed up till 3 in the morning and watched 26 minutes of that, I would have been pretty upset, to say the least. But yeah, Star Wars Politics is definitely right on that one. I mean, if you stayed up till 3 a.m. to watch that, you'd be severely disappointed. But the difference between season 2 and season 1 is season 1 was coming off the back of The Mandalorian's season 2. We're talking Luke Skywalker and all that hype around Star Wars, and then you got the Bad Batch season 1, which again started with Order 66. It had a great start, and a lot of the episodes were really good with Cad Bane and Fennec Shand and all those cool things. Now season 2 is coming off the back of Andor. You could say Tales of the Jedi too, but Andor was the main show that it's coming off of, and people just didn't seem to like Andor. Like there are some people who liked it, and people who loved it really crap on other people who hated it, saying it's the greatest thing of all time. The Star Wars fan base is so severely split right now, it's crazy. We're hoping the Mandalorian and the Ahsoka show can bring it all together, but the Bad Batch is at a weird state now, and we've talked about it for weeks now, that it's just in this weird limbo where nobody's talking about it, nobody's hyped to see the new episodes, and it's kind of because of what came before it. The Mandalorian season 2 came before season 1 of the Bad Batch, and it had way more hype around it. The Andor show comes out before the Bad Batch season 2, and there's no hype around it. Star Wars Politics in again saying, I just want more out of the episodes. I know it's animated and there are more episodes. But I was so excited and looking forward to the next Mandalorian episode each week. Yeah, when you're watching The Bad Batch, when you're watching each episode, it's not getting you more excited for the next week of The Bad Batch. Watching episode 4 wasn't like, oh, I can't wait for episode 5. That just doesn't happen. I'm rewatching Star Wars Rebels right now, and each episode actually like makes you want to watch the next episode. A lot of them are actually like part 1 and part 2s. Like each start of a season and end of a season's almost a part 1 and a part 2, so it always says to be continued, and you're like, man, I want to watch that next episode. The Bad Batch doesn't have any of that. None of it. If you watched episode 4, you would not have a care in the world to watch episode 5. Half the crew wasn't even there. Well, what's up with Hunter and Echo not being there for that? Like, what, did they just not want to have the guy do that many voices? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Star Wars Politics saying it hasn't been that way since Mando Season 2. True. So The Mandalorian, the big hit show The Mandalorian that Disney had, takes a break for 2 years. And Star Wars kind of does the same. It just falls off for a few years. It's kind of like, what are they doing? What are they actually doing? Why would they do this? Why would they just take a break from their biggest show for 2 whole years when that's what people want to see? And now you have shows like The Bad Batch Season 2 suffering because of that. The hype around Star Wars isn't there, so the hype around The Bad Batch isn't there. If that makes sense. So obviously you saw in the thumbnail, we got this guy. Let me pull up his picture right here. This guy, Bad Batch. I had to restart my whole computer because this stream died. It was devastating. But so all my tabs are gone, but we'll work with it. We'll work with it. Give me a sec. Give me a second. Oh, whoops. Dum. So we saw this guy. Oops. This guy that made a bet with Sid. This guy right here. Boom. Here, we'll open it up on its own page. Whoops. We'll open it up on its own page. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're in the building. All right, this guy right here, standing behind Sid. We saw him, and he made a bet with Sid, and of course they ended up winning because Tech wins the pod race, or whatever the race was even called. I don't even know. But this guy right here. Now this is cool because this guy's species is only seen a few times in Star Wars. He is a Dowutin. I don't know how to. I don't know. It's a Dowutin, and you've only seen him a few times. He's in The Force Awakens in Maz Kanata's castle. One of these species, probably not the same guy. He is actually a Tempest runner in the High Republic right now, or he's not right now, but he was a Tempest runner in the High Republic. And that's pretty much it. That's the only real times that you see this guy's species, which is kind of cool. So seeing him in The Bad Batch was cool. And he was another like villain type betting guy. I don't even know. He was the boss of a crew, I guess. I don't know. But he was pretty cool. A Dowutin, however you pronounce it. It was cool to see this species back in Star Wars and see another member of that cast. Do we think the High Republic is actually going to get any sort of live action rendition, like a show or a movie, and we'll actually see the Tempest Runner, I think his name was Pan Eta, in the High Republic become live action? We got to talk about that because the whole High Republic deal is that it's supposed to be this new era of Star Wars. The new era of Star Wars. It's the start of a new era. For thousands of generations, the Jedi have been the peacekeepers throughout the galaxy, and there have been no Sith. So, are we going to get any of that on the screen, or is it just going to stay in the books? I don't know. Star Wars Politics says, even Kenobi. I was excited for each week. It's a weird feeling. True. So Kenobi, although it was like the first half of it, or first half of it was kind of just subpar. You were looking forward to the next week. They kind of left you on cliffhangers. They kind of helped you get hyped for the next part of the show and all the way leading up to the finale, which was a great finale. But again, with the Bad Batch, it's just no hype around it at all. And it seems to be showing in the numbers of people's videos on YouTube. It seems to be showing in the numbers on the views of the show itself. It's definitely a problem. Oh, you weren't looking forward to it each week. You weren't looking forward to the Obi-Wan Kenobi show each week. That's weird. I definitely was. I mean, like episode 2 ended with him saying Anakin, and then you got the scene of Anakin in the bacta tank. That was cool, and that made me want to watch the next episode for sure. And of course, leading up to the finale. I mean, you had the Vader versus Reva fight in the second to last episode, leading into the final episode. It kept you wanting to watch it. I don't know. I disagree. Agree to disagree. But yeah, the Bad Batch definitely has that problem, and Star Wars in general has that problem. So that leads us to believe, what is going on with the Mandalorian season 3? Is it going to suffer because of the state that Star Wars is in? True, it doesn't compare to Mando. Star Wars Politics says, Mando, I was so excited and speculating each week, not for Kenobi. True. So The Mandalorian is the highest hype level that Star Wars fans on Disney Plus have had literally ever. Like, you're talking about The Mandalorian, the biggest show for Disney Plus, and it just goes off the air for 2 years. So now, are we going to see the effects of that? The effects of where Star Wars is as a brand right now, going into the third season? Are the numbers going to go way down? Is it going to affect it big time? Because that would be really bad for Star Wars. Now, we talked about this on Tuesday, actually, that the Star Wars trailer for The Mandalorian, the one that we broke down, we watched a million times, that trailer is getting very good views. Right now, it's sitting at 5.2 million views in the first 2 days. And right now, it's 19th on trending, but that's still pretty huge. After being out for 3 days, it's still on the trending list. It was number 1 on trending when we broke it down on Tuesday. But Star Wars needs to be people hyped for it. Casual fans going to go watch it. People excited for the next episode. And the Bad Batch is lacking that. The Andor show was lacking that. And all the things before that, except for Mando, have been lacking that. So Star Wars needs to rekindle that magic that The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 had going into the third season. And right now, the Bad Batch is doing a horrendous job by that. Star Wars Politics says, again, my Mando videos aren't performing well. Small channel, but it does say something. My Mandalorian videos are definitely doing better than my Bad Batch videos for sure. The Mandalorian fans, the Grogu fans, are definitely casual fans for sure, but they get more views, obviously. The Bad Batch it's kind of an enigma, because you have an animated show, but even the animated show, The Clone Wars, did a lot better than the Bad Batch. And it's because of the fact that it was the main characters. It was Anakin Skywalker, it was Obi-Wan, it was Ahsoka Tano. You're talking about main characters of Star Wars being the main characters of the show. So that's why people tuned in to the Clone Wars Season 7, and it was like the finale. It led up to Order 66. It was the Siege of Mandalore. The last 3 episodes of that season were incredible, and you had Darth Maul. So the word of mouth and more casual fans watched that. Now it's the Bad Batch, a spin-off show of this weird group of clones that nobody seems to care about. And honestly, you could go without watching that first season of the Bad Batch and still have everything make sense in Star Wars. There's no altering the canon. There's no altering characters' story arcs. There's really nothing going on there. So Star Wars needs to be at a place where everything's important. Everything is keeping the story going. Even the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, a lot of people saw it as, well, this doesn't matter. But they made it matter because of the fact that all the lines in A New Hope that Vader says to Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan says to Leia, Leia says to Obi-Wan, all those lines now make sense because of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. That is furthering the plot of Star Wars. The Mandalorian introduces us to Grogu, introduces us to these new characters in a new story, but it also is still furthering the story of Luke Skywalker starting his Jedi Temple and Ahsoka Tano, where she's at. And we're still getting sequel references like Snoke being cloned in the second season. So it's all about furthering the story, and I feel like where the Bad Batch lacks is furthering the story of Star Wars. That's why people aren't watching it. That's why it doesn't have the views that it wants. That's why people's videos that they're creating about the Bad Batch aren't doing well at all. But hopefully, and I'm praying that the Mandalorian turns this all around, because it's going to go Mandalorian and then it's going to go Ahsoka. And we want all the hype we can possibly get going into the Ahsoka show. So that's where we're at. I'm going to open a poll. Speak English much? I'm going to open a poll right now talking about the Mandalorian trailer. Now, I opened this poll on the channel, and we'll go over the analytics of that. But here's where I'm very confused, and I'm literally lost. Who will save Grogu? So this is the question that's been going around for so long now, but it's way more prominent because of the trailer. Who will save Grogu during Order 66, right? Here are the answers. Anakin Skywalker. And people were saying, like, Anakin Skywalker. People were saying, like, oh, it can't be Anakin. He would have to have a moment of weakness. Anakin doesn't have a moment of weakness. He's going around killing Jedi Masters, killing younglings. He's full dark side, and he has no moments of weakness. True. But what if Palpatine tells him to go capture Grogu? Palps is your second option. Your third option is another Jedi, like any other Jedi in the temple at the time. And your third option is other. That means Mace Windu. That means anybody else you possibly could think. Those are your options. So here's where it gets really weird. I'm going to pull up the channel right now. Here is what was like mind-boggling to me. This was the results of the poll on the channel. Now, it's only been one day, and there's only been 37 votes. But here is where the votes lie. And this is very strange to me. Very strange. So this is where the votes lie. Palpatine sitting, so who will save Grogu during Order 66? Palpatine sitting at 3%. Actually, the lowest percentage. Crazy. Anakin Skywalker's Darth Vader is at 8%, the second lowest. 54% of people think it's going to be another Jedi, like another Jedi in the Jedi Temple. Like possibly Joe Castanu. I don't even know. Who are these people thinking? Mace Windu sitting at 22% in second place, and other is 14%. Other's probably talking about who knows, whatever these people think. The comment sections, some guys said had an actually good theory about R2-D2, which I kind of found fascinating. Maybe R2 shows up and actually saves Grogu, and maybe, I don't know where it would go from there, because you have to explain where Grogu's been for like 15 years. Like, it's not just where he goes after Order 66. That's why I think Palpatine is the one and only answer. But seemingly, nobody thinks that. 3%. 3%. Am I crazy, or is this just wild? This is just insane. Like, I don't understand. And who are these other Jedi that people are referring to? And why do so many people think Mace Windu's going to survive? Like, do we think that Dave Filoni's going to go that hard in fan service, that he's going to bring in Samuel L. Jackson to return as the character of Mace Windu? It's possible, but I see it very unlikely, because where did he go? Why did he not try and go kill Vader? Why did he not try and go kill Palpatine? Where does he go from there? It makes no sense. I don't understand. I don't understand. How is Palpatine sitting at 3%? Can anybody explain this to me? I'm at a loss. I don't understand. Like, what? Star Wars Politics says a clone. I'm going to do a vid about it. You think a clone is going to save Grogu? Why? Who? What? Where? I don't understand. I literally don't know. I don't get it. I don't see how it can't. It's like, what? It's Palpatine. It's got to be Palpatine. Right now we're sitting at 50-50. Palpatine or other on the poll. So, yeah, yeah. So here's why the name of the video is called We Were Wrong. Or Are We Wrong? What does it say? Are we wrong? Are we wrong? So The Mandalorian Season 3. From what we can gather, hang on, we'll get to Star Wars Politics first. I think Anakin will have a moment of weakness past Grogu. Then a clone will take him to Palpatine. He isn't saved. True, he's not saved. That's why I put it in quotations. He's definitely not saved, because for 20 years or whatever the time frame is, he's captured by whoever saves him. But I can't see Anakin having a moment of weakness. You're talking about Anakin who comes into the Jedi Temple, killing, literally just straight up slaying all of these Jedi, younglings, masters, people he knew as friends, literally just killing all of them. He tries to kill Obi-Wan for like an hour. And you think that he's going to have a moment of weakness for Grogu, a character that he's barely ever met? We don't know if they've ever met at all. Why would he have a moment of weakness for Grogu? That's what really throws me off with that. I don't get it at all. How could Anakin Skywalker have a moment of weakness for Grogu? It can't happen. I would actually be like mad if that happened, because it would make no sense at all. You're talking about a character who's never met another character. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't. Star Wars Politics says he's definitely experimented on at Mount Tantus. So that's where, again, the Bad Batch could get good. If it goes to Mount Tantus and it involves Grogu and cloning and Palpatine, that's where the Bad Batch has people's kind of attention. But right now, it's doo-doo. He also says it could establish some early conflict between Vader and Palps. I still don't see it that way. I can't possibly imagine Anakin Skywalker having a moment of weakness in trying to save Grogu. It can't happen. It can't. He goes and kills a bunch of younglings and Jedi Masters. No, it can't happen. It can't. No. Please, no. Please, Dave Filoni, don't do it. Jon Favreau, don't do it. Please, don't do it. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't have Anakin have a moment of weakness and save Grogu. That would be terrible. It would be so bad. Just have Palpatine come right through that door. Palpatine scoops him up, says, I'm cloning you. See, it would make more sense. It would make more sense if Anakin came in with the purpose, already on a mission, to pick up Grogu and give him to Palpatine. If that was what was going on, if Anakin was told not to kill Grogu, then it would make far more sense. Far more sense. Maybe he gets distracted before killing him. Maybe. But if Palpatine just told him, go get this kid from the Jedi Temple, looks like Yoda, but a baby version, scoop him up, we're going to do experiments on him, clone him, whatever, and he says, yes, my master, and goes and does that, then that's where it would make sense, to me, at least. Anakin have a moment of weakness? No, please, God, no. Alright, moving on. So here's where I think that we are completely wrong about what this, The Mandalorian Season 3 is going to be about. The Mandalorian Season 3, we're led to believe, is going to be this war between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin for the throne, and maybe Moff Gideon's involved, and we don't really know what this show's going to be about, but it's supposed to be Mando going back to Mandalore to become a Mandalorian again. We'll get to that, Star Wars politics. We'll get to that. But it's supposed to be Mando going to Mandalore. At least this trailer is supposed to make us believe that Mando's going to Mandalore to become a Mandalorian again. There's this bigger danger that Carson Teva's talking about in the trailer that we don't really know what that is. Maybe he's talking about Thrawn and his army. Maybe he's talking about the Empire building back up in this First Order. Maybe he's talking about Snoke. Maybe he's talking about Palpatine. Maybe he's talking about something completely different. We don't really know what Carson Teva is talking about when he says that there's a danger. Let me pull up this trailer again so you guys know what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm talking about right here. Carson Teva, the X-Wing pilot, he says there's something dangerous happening. And he says out there, and by the time it's big enough to act, it'll be too late. But who is he talking to here? Not Din. Din's in Bo-Katan's throne room. We went over this on Tuesday. He's talking to somebody on Coruscant. Somebody on Tuesday said that they think it could possibly be Mon Mothma. Now, I think it could be somebody way more important than that, because he's saying by the time that it's big enough that you act, he says you are going to act, it'll be too late. So he's got to be talking to somebody that has an ability to act on this growing danger, to act against this maybe growing First Order or whatever's going on. And I think the only options for this are Luke Skywalker or Leia Organa. The only two people I think he could be talking to right now are them. Because he knows the Empire is either growing, he knows the Empire is still around. We don't know what he knows, but he knows that there's a big threat, and he's telling somebody specifically that you can stop it. And I think he's got to be talking to Luke or Leia. And just the idea of that blows everything we know away. Because this whole season, everything we think we know is going on in this season could be completely wrong. If he's talking about this danger, this very significant danger, there is something dangerous happening. And by the time that you see it, by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late. And he's got to be talking to someone of significance that can stop that danger. And the only two options that I think are even possible are Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa. Am I crazy there? Like, is that just such a wild thing that see? Raheem said this on Tuesday too. He says he thinks he's talking to Mon Mothma. Now here's where I think you're wrong, Raheem. He says that by the time this danger becomes big enough for you to act, he's talking to someone specifically, it'll be too late. Now Mon Mothma, although could be the Supreme Chancellor right now, doesn't have that power. She doesn't have an army. She doesn't have a clone army waiting for her. This isn't the prequels. She doesn't have a clone army waiting for her. She doesn't have the Force. She's not a Jedi. The only way that somebody specific could take down this danger that Carson Teva is talking about here would be a Jedi or somebody with significant power like Luke Skywalker. And that's where I'm at right now. And Luke Skywalker, just the idea of him being on Coruscant would be wild. Star Wars Politics says, I think he wants her to create an army. How, like cloning wise, like clone an army, that doesn't make any sense to me. Honestly, I see where you're at there, I guess. But creating another clone army for the New Republic would be dumb. And I get why Carson Teva would want an army, but they have the X-Wing pilots, they have, people probably volunteering and stuff like that. But yeah, they definitely don't have an army. I think he's definitely talking to someone of significance in this scene. And maybe it's Din Djarin. Maybe he's saying, Din, I know you're a bounty hunter or whatever you are or whatever you think you are, but you have to be more. Raheem says, I promise you, I'm trying to tell you. You're trying to tell me it's Mon Mothma? See, why are you so certain that it's Mon Mothma here, though? Raheem, I don't. It has to be someone of more significance, I think. You'll bet me $30? I'll take that bet. Raheem, shake on it. Boom, right there. $30 right there. I'll give Raheem $30. He's got sources. I bet Raheem $30 that it's somebody of more significance than Mon Mothma in this scene. Right here where Carson Teva is talking to somebody. $30 right there. That's the deal. That's the deal. Star Wars Politics says just an army. Mon Mothma likely wants to demilitarize the Republic after the Empire's reign. True. Very true. Maybe this was a bad bet. Nah, just kidding. You're on, yeah. For sure. Definitely. $30, boom. There. I just have a feeling that Luke Skywalker is going to be seen on Coruscant. I know it sounds crazy. We've never seen it before, but that's why I think Dave Filoni, or Jon Favreau in this instance, is going to pull all the strings he possibly can to get these important pieces together. She wants peace, true. She definitely wants peace. That's a fact. But I think Carson Teva, if he wants something to be done about this danger, and specifically talking to a specific person in this room, he's going to have to find the most powerful person he knows, and hopefully that's Luke frickin' Skywalker. Am I right or am I right? Raheem's like, you're wrong. True. I get you. I see where you're at. But I just think it's somebody of way more importance. And again, they're still trying to hide everything because they're trying to make it look like he's talking to Mando when he's not. I just don't understand why they're trying to hide so much in this trailer. It's really frustrating to me because I just want to watch this season. But I didn't even like it. Wow. What a fake fan. Smash like on this video? Like, what are you even doing? Jeez. Smash like on this video, please. Please. Thank you. All right. But in all seriousness, we don't know what's going on in The Mandalorian Season 3. I thought we knew. We thought we know stuff. Raheem thinks he's got his sources, but he's completely wrong. Yeah. For sure. So, when do we think we will, or do you even think? All right, new poll time, new poll. We're doing it. All right, I'm ending this one. Okay, so 33% of people think it's going to be Palpatine. There we go. That's more like it. That is more like it. That is more like it. All right, let me open this new poll. Damn, I forget what I was just about to make a poll about. What the heck were we just talking about? Oh, yeah. I remember. Will we see young Leia, and or we'll put the or in parentheses, or Han Solo in Mando 3? Yes or no? Do you think we'll see Leia Organa or Han Solo or both Han Solo in The Mandalorian Season 3? That's the question. Oops, there we go. So Raheem says we will, but no Han. So you're saying Leia will definitely see, but no Han? See, here's where I think if you see one, you see the other. That's where I'm at. We know they get separated, but that's after Ben joins Luke's Jedi Temple and then falls to the dark side. And that's when they separate. But before any of that happens, they're together. And they have Ben. And Ben will be about 5 years old right now. Star Wars Politics says Leia for sure. See, it's because they're going to Coruscant and Leia's supposed to be there. But here's the thing. And you got to think about it as an actor's perspective. Mark Hamill came back to do Luke Skywalker because he wants to do Luke Skywalker correctly. He didn't like the Luke Skywalker in the sequels, whether you like him or not. Mark Hamill didn't like him. So he comes back to do this Luke Skywalker. John and Dave go to him, pitch him this idea. Look, Luke's going to be a lot better in this. We're gonna recreate his character from right after Return of the Jedi. And Mark Hamill says, great, let's do it. And they de-age him. He does all the training and all that stuff. Obviously, Carrie Fisher is dead. Rest in peace. She can't come back to do the role, but she has her daughter who could do it. She, of course, the deepfake technology can do it, so we could definitely see Leia. But then there's Harrison Ford. Now, Harrison Ford is 80 years old, and you think, oh, maybe he'd retire and just want to live the rest of his life in peace, just having fun. But according to him, fun is acting because he's doing Indiana Jones 5. He's joining the MCU as Red Hulk for the next millions of years to come, it seems as though. So I'm sure if they give him a nice little pay chunk here, he would absolutely love to come back to Star Wars to do some deepfake technology. He loved the deepfake technology in Indiana Jones 5. He thought it was so cool, and maybe John and Dave came to him and said, look, we're doing this on Star Wars. We did it with Mark, and now we can do it with you. I see all the rumors about back when the Book of Boba Fett was coming out the first season, that people thought Han was going to show up in that. And I thought that would have been so cool. But it seems as though they were maybe saving it, or they didn't, or Harrison didn't want to do it yet. He had to do it with Indiana Jones first. He seems to be wanting to do all this work. He's in the new Yellowstone show. He's joining the MCU. He's doing Indiana Jones 5. And he might just be coming back to Star Wars. Star Wars Politics says, when did they transfer to Hosnian Prime? True. So Hosnian Prime is the capital of the New Republic in the sequels. In The Force Awakens, when they use Starkiller Base, when General Hux shoots Starkiller Base to destroy the capital of the New Republic, he kills Hosnian Prime. He doesn't kill Coruscant. Actually, J.J. Abrams wanted to destroy Coruscant, but they said no. He kills Hosnian Prime, which is supposed to be, at the time, the capital of the New Republic. But the thing is, we got like 20, 25-ish years to move the capital from Coruscant to Hosnian Prime. So we got time, for sure. It's just, they just don't really know, you know? Raheem's World says, Leia, Millie Bobby Brown will probably be playing young Leia, but I agree with you. We just might see Han. Millie Bobby Brown as Leia? What? Millie Bobby Brown signed a contract 8 months ago with Kathleen Kennedy. Okay. So you think that contract is to play a young Leia Organa? Millie Bobby Brown, really? I know who Millie Bobby Brown is for sure, but does she look like Leia? Millie Bobby Brown. Hang on, we gotta pull her up. Millie Bobby Brown. Let's look at a picture of her. Is this Leia Organa? Anybody? Anybody? I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I would honestly probably dislike it very muchly. The thing I like about the deepfake technology, and people are saying, why didn't they just recast Luke? Why don't they just recast Leia? Why don't they just recast Han? It's because of the fact that these are the characters, right? Luke Skywalker's not Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker, sure, but Luke Skywalker is not Mark Hamill. Luke Skywalker is Luke Skywalker. So having another person come in and play Luke Skywalker, unless they look exactly like him or enough that they would make sense, like Sebastian Stan would be perfect, honestly. But the deepfake technology works best because it's still Luke Skywalker. In the Book of Boba Fett, it feels like Luke Skywalker. It is Luke Skywalker. But it's not. It's digitally created. It's just literally creation on the screen. It just has to feel like the character. So if Millie Bobby Brown comes in and has a completely different look than Leia Organa, I wouldn't like it one bit. Star Wars Politics says, I see a resemblance. I must be missing something here. I don't see no resemblance. I don't see anything. I mean, let's pull up a picture of Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher. Let's put them side by side. Boom, boom. I kind of see it, I guess. The eyes a little bit. They got the same color. They look kind of the same. Is this helping, guys? Is this really helping? They're almost the same person. Look. But yeah, I think they're better off doing the deep fake. I mean, if you pull up Leia in Rogue One, this looks great. I mean, this was 2016. Well, that looks terrible. This looks great. Well, if you this is 2016, so it's already been 7 years since this happened, and this looked great. I know it would have to be like a whole show of this, and it'd have to be many scenes of her moving around and stuff. But they did it with Luke for 45 minutes in the Book of Boba Fett. So, I mean, I wouldn't be, angry if Millie Bobby Brown was Leia. I see where you're at with that. But I think it would just be best to deepfake it all. I know it costs probably a lot more money, but just deepfake it. Now, Raheem, I got a good question for you. If Millie Bobby Brown is actually signed to a deal with Lucasfilm to be a character in Star Wars, who would that character be if not Leia Organa? Who would you want Millie Bobby Brown to play in Star Wars? It's a great question. I actually do remember seeing these reports of Millie Bobby Brown signing a deal, but I didn't know if they were actually confirmed or not. I actually might have made a video about, or at least a short video about Millie Bobby Brown joining. It would be cool to see her. She's a great actress. She's obviously growing to be a huge actress. Millie Bobby Brown in Star Wars. Do you want to see that? And who would you want to see her play if not Leia Organa? It's a great question. Maybe a new character. Maybe a new character in a new show. Maybe she's in Skeleton Crew. Maybe she's in Skeleton Crew with Jude Law. That would be cool. Maybe she's how about this? Maybe she is. So we talked about the leaks of Thrawn and the New Beyond and having this Balin guy or whatever, the Dark Jedi, having the apprentice named Shin. What if Millie Bobby Brown plays Shin in the Ahsoka show and is a bad guy? Night Sister, like an Asajj Ventress type character, and has to hunt down Ahsoka Tano. What do you think of that? Now that would be cool. That would be cool for sure. Millie Bobby Brown as a dark side Night Sister using the Force, trying to hunt down Ahsoka Tano. Now we're on the track for something. Now we're talking. Now we are talking. So I got this one other article to pull up because this is actually wild. People seem to think, now this trailer that came out Monday has been dissected by many people. And I've seen some things, I'm sure you've seen some things in the trailer. But how about this one? People seem to think that Sabine is in the trailer. Did Sabine, so she's supposed to appear in Ahsoka first, just appear in the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer. So this is the image in question. Some fans believe that Sabine Wren made her appearance in the latest trailer for the Mandalorian Season 3. The Mandalorian is set The Mandalorian is set to return to Disney Plus on March 1st with Season 3 of the hit series. Pedro Pascal's Din Djarin is set to take Grogu with him to the planet of Mandalore, so that he can be forgiven for removing his helmet and showing his face to other people. The new trailer was recently released for the upcoming season, teasing what is to come, as the show comes back for the first time in over 2 years. In the footage, a quick blink and you will miss it. A shot of some Mandalorian in action was shown, and one of them has a striking resemblance to a character that will play a major role in Ahsoka, Sabine Wren. So, a trailer for The Mandalorian Season 3 was released, blah, blah, blah. So this is the image in question. Blink and you'll miss it. It's literally like that. It's like she shoots this guy and it quickly cuts to Babu Frick. So they kind of hid this because everybody was like, ooh, Babu, let's go. Star Wars Politics says no way they would put her in the trailer. True. I don't think they would, but literally it's like you blink, you miss it. Well, I'll pull up the trailer right here. It's towards the end here. It's after people got hyped for the Order 66. Like, it's way at the end here. So it's right before Babu. So you got the Mandalorian fighting, and boom, right there. See, it was literally you blink, you miss it. Oh, wow, I just pinpointed that. You see that? That was a snipe. All right. We'll watch it right through. It's literally blink, you miss it. Boom, right there. That's all you get. Can I snipe it again, though? Nope. That's a one-time thing. Oh, wait, I can. So, yeah, look at this. Can I zoom in on this, actually? No, I can't, damn. That's all right. We'll look at the picture on the other thing. But, yeah, so it's literally like you blink, you miss it. And it looks like her for sure, but I kind of agree with Star Wars Politics. I don't think they would put her in. So it looks like her, of course, the helmet and all. But it says the character was shown in the trailer bears a striking resemblance to Sabine's character design and color scheme from Rebels. The helmet of both characters seems to have the same thin shape with a dark red top and a lighter gray section below the eyes. It is also noteworthy that both characters appear to be female. Well, yeah, obviously. But yeah, so, I mean, obviously he's got the gray underneath the eyes there, which is very similar. He's got the red top, but there's no this design, you know? And she doesn't have the chest plate or anything. It would be a very bad design if this were the same character. It would be a very bad live action design. I actually think this isn't true at all. I think it's just another female Mandalorian that has a red helmet. Because you see at the beginning of the trailer, if I can get to it, right here, these Mandalorian all have red helmets. Like this guy's got a red helmet and a gray underbelly, under the eyes. But they got red helmets, and that's what I just think we're looking at here. I don't think it's Sabine. I definitely don't think they would put her in the trailer. Like Star Wars Politics says, it's not like they're hinting at Leia or Luke or by showing them in the trailer. Yeah, for sure. They definitely would not put her in the trailer. I think that's dumb. Stupid Star Wars fans trying to find stupid Easter eggs. Dumb. But for real, yeah. No, they would not put her in the trailer. Definitely not. That would be stupid. Stupid. Star Wars Politics says, knowing John and Dave, they probably, intentionally created a Mandalorian that looks like Sabine to generate hype. True. They were like, look at this, guys. We're going to make a Mandalorian that looks like Sabine, put it in the trailer, but it's not actually Sabine. That is something they would do, for sure. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's definitely something they would do, for sure. So I actually have another article to pull up here. Hang on one second. Again, the stream literally exploded. Was anybody actually here for that? Like, I started the stream at 1 p.m. like we were supposed to, and it exploded and froze, and then I had to restart my whole computer to get this stream going. It was a whole thing, and all my tabs closed, and it was annoying and really frustrating. But I'm glad you guys are still here. That's for sure. Glad you guys are still here. So, of course, we talked about this on Tuesday, but the battle droids in Star Wars have made their first appearance. Skits. Is it Skits 3D? Skits, what's up? He just got here. Yeah, that whole first stream kind of exploded, so glad you guys made it to this next one. But, yeah, what's up, Skits? So we're talking about the battle droids in the trailer. If I can find them real quick. So the trailer had the battle droids in it, of course. That's sooner than that. And right here, boom. So these B1 battle droids from the prequels. Oh no. Right here. They seem to be functioning, working in the bar here with all these other droids. But it's cool because it's the first time we've seen these guys in live action in a long time. Raheem's World said, "I'm sorry I can't give away too much. I'm running off at the mouth." Yeah, don't spoil for like everybody if you actually know what's going on. For sure. Skid says puppet or CGI battle droids. I think they're definitely real. I don't think they would CGI these guys in. I just don't see why they would do that. They actually do a lot of practical effects on the Mandalorian. These R2 units are definitely actually there. They aren't just put in after the fact. Maybe some of the droids are put in after the fact, but I think a lot of the stuff with the Mandalorian and with Star Wars in general is supposed to be practical effects. They like to do that because it stays original to the original trilogy and George Lucas's vision and all that stuff. So I think they're definitely going to be real battle droids for sure. But this is the article. Star Wars battle droids make first live-action return since the prequels. So it's been since 2005 since we've seen these bad Larrys on the screen. It's literally been, what is that, 18 years? Oh, look at that quick math. Oh, right there. 18 years since we've seen battle droids on the screen, which is kind of crazy. It's been a long, long time. We've gotten plenty of them in the Clone Wars and stuff, but the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer included battle droids from Star Wars prequel trilogy. Scroll down here. So this is the picture in question. We pulled that up in the trailer. And it says, battle droids return in The Mandalorian Season 3. For the first time since 2005's Revenge of the Sith. Hold on. Functioning prequel trilogy battle droids were featured in live action in the trailer for The Mandalorian Season 3. So this is actually false, but we'll read it anyway. The droids can be seen in what looks like a droid-filled cantina at the 1 minute 17-second mark of the Disney Plus series footage. Here's a closer look at the clankers. Sure. So this is the battle droids made their first debut in The Phantom Menace. So these largely computer-generated droids made up the Separatist forces during the Clone Wars and often fought against the Galactic Republic clone troopers. So here's where they're wrong, actually. Yeah, right here. So this is the sequel trilogy. This is Rise of Skywalker. Still, The Mandalorian's third season isn't the first live-action project to include these types of droids, nor it is the first recent Star Wars project to feature them. Back in 2019, the B-1 battle droids could be seen behind C-3PO during the scenes of The Rise of Skywalker. So this was The Rise of Skywalker in Babu Frick's place. We're seeing Babu Frick again in The Mandalorian Season 3. This is when C-3PO gets reprogrammed to read the Sith writings. There is B-1 battle droids behind him. So yes, those were the first time we saw them in live action since Revenge of the Sith, but this is the first time they're actually going to be functioning and actually be moving around in this bar or cantina, and we could see like a conversation between Din Djarin or maybe even like Grogu and a B-1 battle droid. Like, that's sick. We're talking about the guys coming back like that go Roger Roger. We're talking about some fun stuff here. If Dave and John know one thing, it's how to get people excited for Star Wars again. And it's little stuff like this, having B-1 battle droids in the trailer. Like, it was the 5th most cool thing there. It was Order 66, Coruscant, Babu Frick, seeing Grogu using the Force more, seeing a destroyed Mandalore, and then it's the B-1 battle droids. Like, they aren't even up there on the list. They aren't even top 5, but they're still so cool that they're even there. So that's what Dave and John know how to do. Is they know how to get people excited for Star Wars. And that's what Star Wars has been lacking this last year, is excitement for Star Wars. People anticipating what's coming next, in the Bad Batch especially, is lacking that. And I know Dave Filoni's in charge of the Bad Batch, but he still knows how to get people excited. That's why we had Count Dooku's lair in the first episode. That's why we have prequel references even in the filler episodes. Even in the filler episodes where we have a pod race or seemingly some type of race, it's all prequel references all up the wazoo because of the fact that Dave Filoni's in charge. You got Commander Cody back. You're going to get a Mount Tantus. Mount Tantus was in season 1, a Legends crazy mountain where Palpatine clones stuff. You got Jorah Sabaoth, you got Thrawn, you got Luke Skywalker, my favorite character ever, just because of his name. It's so great, it's stupid. But, like, Mount Tantus is coming in season 2, and that's why people are drawn to this show. Here's the big question. How many more episodes of these 16 episodes are we going to have to watch until we get some Mount Tantus or some cloning things or Palpatine or something exciting? Why are we getting a filler episode so early on in the season? I know we just circled back to the Bad Batch, but it gets me heated to see that it's just lacking. It's lacking so much in giving us filler episodes in episode 4. Give us Palpatine. Give us not Order 66. Give us Palpatine. Give us Mount Tantus. Give us some cool things. Raheem's World says, I have a question. Do you believe that the twins will take over Jabba's palace? Or will Jabba's son take back his father's palace from Boba Fett? Ooh, so you think that there's going to be a conflict on Tatooine where Jabba's son, or the twins that were in the first season of the Book of Boba Fett, will come back and try and take Jabba's palace back for the Hutts from Boba Fett. Now that's interesting, because I made this whole video, I think a week or two ago, about how Boba Fett is going to be the ruler of Mandalore, why he has the right to the throne, his dad, Jango, his mentor or father figure, being Jocasta. I'm a little tired today. Being, what the heck's his name? I'm completely blanking right now. I can't think of it. Whatever. He is the rightful heir to the throne. He's the rightful heir to the throne. Boba Fett, for sure. But does he want to rule? That's a whole different scenario. So, if, in fact, what Raheem's saying here, some of the Hutts come back to take Jabba's palace back, and maybe they do, and maybe they run Boba Fett right out of town. And then Boba still wants to be this leader and comes to Mandalore and becomes the leader of Mandalore. Again, would cause a huge civil war between Bo-Katan and Boba Fett. But the Mandalorians are always at war, so, it's nothing new going on there. Skits says, I fully thought Rex was going to be in episode 4 of season 2 of the Bad Batch. Yeah, so still no Rex, even though he is in the trailer. Still no Rex, still no Palpatine, still no Mount Tantus. Still a lot of things to get to in the Bad Batch. Skit says, Rada the Hutt. Is that one of the twins' names? No, his son's name is Stinky. We know that. We know that from the Clone Wars movie. Imagine the return of Stinky to destroy... The Book of Boba Fett, Season 2, Return of Stinky. I mean, who would not watch that? For real. Who would not watch that? Let me close that poll that we had open there. One sec. See where that ended at. End poll. So that 75% of you thought that yes, Leia and or Han would be in season 3 of The Mandalorian. That's pretty spot on, I think, honestly. But yeah, would anybody actually watch the Book of Boba Fett season 2 if the name of it was The Return of Stinky, or Stinky's Revenge, or or Stinky's Done It Again, or somebody made a Stinky in Jabba's palace? I think it would be great marketing. I mean, you could play it up that Boba Fett's going to get crapped on by a stinky, slobby slug. Jabba's son comes back for revenge. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a fantastic idea. His name was Rada the Hutt. When did they say that? I must have missed that completely. All I remember was his name was Stinky. Rata the Hutt. Yeah, maybe we'll see him come back. Maybe. It's possible. Do you think we'll actually get a Book of Boba Fett season 2? That's the next poll I'm doing. Next poll. Stinky is Ahsoka's nickname for the little stinker. Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know what his actual name was. I just must have left my mind because Stinky was such a great nickname. I mean, Ahsoka gave him the name of a lifetime. Why would he ever run away from that? Do you think we will get a season 2 of Book of Boba Fett? BOBF stands for the Book of Boba Fett, if you guys didn't know. Bob F is the Book of Boba Fett. So do you think we'll actually get a second season of the Book of Boba Fett? Now, it seems as though The Mandalorian is going to go for probably 3 or 4 seasons, I would guess, anywhere around that area. 3 or 4 seasons, and then we'll probably move on from that character. Din Djarin will either be in other things, or he'll be going around doing other things. But will we actually see a second season of the Book of Boba Fett? And will, of course, we're getting Ahsoka, we're getting Skeleton Crew, everything's being further developed. But do you think we'll see a second season of the Book of Boba Fett? Now, the Book of Boba Fett is kind of a strange thing. The first episode did very well. The finale did very well. The Mando episodes did very well. But other than that, the other 3 or 4 episodes did not do particularly well. They actually did pretty poorly according to the Disney Plus numbers and what was going on there. It didn't do well. But there's no doubt in my mind that they will get a second season just purely based off of that Luke Skywalker episode. And again, Boba wasn't even in that episode, like not for 1 second. So it was weird. But I feel like they just missed the mark with the Boba Fett show. I feel like Cad Bane coming to live action was epic. His duel or whatever standoff with Cobb Vanth was so cool. But it just seems as though they just missed the mark. There was all those rumors about bringing in Han Solo or bringing in Kiara in the Crimson Dawn, which would have been so cool. Literally the coolest thing ever. If you had Crimson Dawn, Kiara coming back to live action, being trained by Darth Maul, fighting against Boba Fett and trying to rule Tatooine, would have been amazing. Would have been so good. The Pikes just weren't a good enough bad guy. And I feel like a lot of people were on the same page as me with that, where the Pikes just weren't the best bad guy and didn't really have people hyped for the Book of Boba Fett. That's just kind of where I see it at right now. Skids, whoops, what just happened? Skid says, but that could be left up to the season of The Mandalorian. True. But I feel like if they're going to make a second season of the Book of Boba Fett, they're going to have to bring in somebody bigger, like Kiara in the Crimson Dawn, or Han Solo, or even like Mace Windu. We're talking about Mace Windu maybe saving Grogu from the Jedi Temple. That would definitely set up a second season of the Book of Boba Fett. If they really wanted to set it up in The Mandalorian, they would have Grogu's flashback, have Mace Windu save him, confirming Mace Windu's still alive, and confirming that Boba Fett would want revenge for, of course, Mace Windu chopping off his dad's head. So he would obviously want revenge, and that would be the perfect plot for the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. And I think it would actually please a lot of fans, for sure. Would you watch a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett if it was Mace Windu coming back and Boba Fett trying to go get revenge for his dad, because we know Mace Windu chops off his dad's head? So Raheem's World says, I would like to know if you want a season 2 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Yes, I agree. They did miss the mark on the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, they definitely missed the mark on the Book of Boba Fett. Season 2 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. That's a great question. What do we think, chat? Do we think we want a season 2 of the Book of of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show? Do you want a season 2 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show? Tell me in the chat right now. I just don't see... Okay, don't mind that noise. The world is just crumbling around me. No. So, season 2 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Do we actually want to see that? See, I feel like season 1 ended perfectly. The finale was great. It was so good. I mean, that hopefully that noise ends really soon, because I'm gonna lose it if it doesn't. Start throwing things at the ceiling. No. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show is at a weird place, because the finale was a good ending. It set up A New Hope perfectly, because Darth Vader says that's a feeling I haven't felt in a long time. Or no, he says that's a I haven't felt this since, and then he walks away. But it seems as though they haven't fought in a long time. So if they keep continually fighting, it wouldn't make sense. And there's no real plot for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. What is that noise? I think we're being airstruck from upstairs. Oh, all right, it stopped. But oh, it's back. What is going on? Okay, whatever. Just ignore it. I'm trying, at least. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show has zero plot for season 2. Like I just told you, the Book of Boba Fett would be good if Mace Windu came back, or if it was Kiara and the Crimson Dawn, or even Han Solo. There's many different ways that we could get a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show, on the other hand, doesn't have a story there. We can't see another rematch of the century between him and Vader. That would be dumb. Him fighting anybody other than Vader would not be nearly as important. I guess you could get a live-action rendition of his fight between Maul and him, but that would just... We've already seen that. There's no story for a Obi-Wan Kenobi show season 2, I think, at least. That's just my personal opinion, and we all know that that personal opinion is a fact, and is always fact. We know that. We know that here at the streams. Star Wars Politics says, do we really think that Mace is alive? Genuinely asking. So what do we think about that? Do we actually think that Mace is alive? Mace Windu, the Jedi Master who fell from one of the tallest buildings on Coruscant. Do we think he survived that fall? Now I know people have survived that fall in the past, like Darth Maul, of course, got cut in half and survived that fall. So people have survived that fall. But it leads to the questions of where has he been this entire time? Like, why did he not go try and kill Darth Vader? Why did he not try and go kill Palpatine? Why did he not try to help the rebels at all? Do we genuinely, easy for you to say, genuinely think that Mace Windu is still alive? He follows up and says, it seems like a nice thought, but not likely. And I agree with you. Samuel L. Jackson, I feel like, would love to come back to the role, but him coming back in general just doesn't really make all that much sense. If that makes sense. We make dollar bills here. Star Wars Politics says no, because they would mess it up more, lol. He's talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, if they should make a season 2. And I agree with you. I think there's no story there. I think they would just mess it up even more. I think the Obi-Wan Kenobi show season 2 would be a bad idea. Leave it where it is. Put Obi-Wan in like Andor season 2 or something. Put him in something else. Just leave him be. Leave him be. He's fine. Leave him. He's okay. He's good where he is. Skits says, no thanks. Kenobi had a lot of problems. True. It did. It had a ton of problems. But the finale was good enough ending where we can just leave it at that. Leave it be. He also says, sounds like a buzzsaw. I know. What's going on upstairs? Like, what? On Tuesday we had a tree falling, and now we got this. I don't know what's going on. Raheem said, yes, I do. I really believe that he is alive. You really believe Mace Windu's alive? Why? Well, you think he survived that fall? Do you think he saved Grogu? Or do you think he just left? Do you think he's like, nope, bye, and leaves, goes somewhere else? Maybe he goes to the Outer Rim, or not the Outer Rim, the Unknown Regions, or the New Beyond now. There's many places he could hide, but why would he not come back and get involved? Why would he not go try to get revenge, kill Palpatine, kill Anakin? He's already such a vengeful guy. I feel like he would go back and try to get revenge. That's for sure. He's got sources, Star Wars Politics says. He's got the sources. Confirmed. Mace is here. Mace is here. Write that down. Write that down. Alert the media. Mace Windu is back. Raheem says it. Means it's a fact. Well, Raheem, is it a fact? I don't know. It's still, I think, like a 50-50 chance of Mace coming back. But I am leaning towards him coming back, for sure. But if they were to do that, if they were to introduce Mace and get us hyped for Book of Boba Fett Season 2 of Boba hunting down Mace, then it would be in The Mandalorian Season 3. It would be. I'm not sure about him saving Grogu, but I do believe that he is alive, Raheem says. So he doesn't think he's going to save, or he doesn't know about him saving Grogu. Raheem, who do you think is going to save Grogu then? I saw somebody say Jocasta Nu earlier when we were talking about it. Somebody said it in the comment section of the poll. Jocasta Nu is, of course, the librarian in the Jedi Temple, and she is a Jedi herself. But her showing up, or saving Grogu even, doesn't make sense. Actually, she has her own ending, her own death in the comics, and it's kind of sad, but she dies to Vader. Or maybe it's the Grand Inquisitor, I forget. But she dies in the comics and doesn't save Grogu. So that's kind of out of the picture. Skitz says, there is a possibility, especially when you can understand how he can use the Force to either slow himself down or while he is in pain from Palpatine's electrocution. So, first of all, we see a skeleton before he leaves. He gets zapped, and we literally see a skeleton, and then he goes, ugh! So you can tell he's still alive when he gets tossed. It's whether or not he's alive when he hits the ground. And whether or not he can force himself to stop him on the ground. We know that him having the purple lightsaber means he's kind of closer to the dark side or something along those lines. So maybe he becomes more in tune with the dark side and saves himself from that fall. It is kind of out there. I know it's a crazy little theory, but it's a possibility that we do see Mace Windu in Season 3 of The Mandalorian and maybe in a Season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. A lot of people are very, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, a lot of people are very concerned or angry about Grogu and Din getting back together before Season 3 even airs. Now I want to hear what you guys think about this. So the second season had this whole lead up of Din and Grogu trying to find a Jedi for Grogu to train with, and this whole emotional separation at the end when Grogu goes out with Luke Skywalker and Din starts crying and all this emotion. Are people upset about them getting back together in Boba Fett's show and not The Mandalorian? Is that like something that's really angers people? Tell me in the chat, because I gotta know before I give you my take on it, because my take's a little different. Star Wars Politics says I'm not a fan. I see where you're at. Now here's how I think about it. We're in the Mandoverse, the Mando timeline, whatever you want to call it. Dave and John's, the Filoni-verse, whatever you want to call it. We're in this Mandalorian timeline. It starts with The Mandalorian Season 1, and then it goes to The Mandalorian Season 2, and right after that, The Book of Boba Fett. And now we got The Mandalorian Season 3, and then we're going to get the Ahsoka Tano show, and the Skeleton Crew, and the timeline might actually get mixed up in there. But for right now, we're in a straight line drive, from Mando Season 1 to Mando Season 3, with The Book of Boba Fett in between. So, it is a straightforward story, and I feel as though all the people who watched The Mandalorian are going to watch The Book of Boba Fett. Actually, more even, because more people are fans of Boba Fett as a character than even people were of Din Djarin, because people didn't know who Din Djarin were. So, I actually don't have any problem with Din and Grogu getting back together in a completely different show, because it is one timeline. It's like saying, are you mad that Darth Vader told Luke that he was his father in The Empire Strikes Back and not in A New Hope? It's the same story. It's just a different episode of the story or a different chapter of the book, if that makes any sense. That's where I'm at least with it. I'm not all that angry at all. I'm actually not angry at all. I liked the Book of Boba Fett, especially those Mandalorian episodes, and they did the reuniting of Din and Grogu very well, giving Grogu the choice to choose between training with Luke or going back to Din, and he chose Din, and he goes back to Din. And that all happened in a very thought out, well put way. And it not happening in a show called The Mandalorian didn't really affect me all too much. That's just where I'm at with it. I know a lot of people are actually extremely upset about it, like going crazy online, like wicked mad about this. So I just wanted to see where you guys were at with it, because I honestly am not upset about it at all. It doesn't affect me. I'm okay with them being back together at the beginning of the Mandalorian season 3. Skid says, I'm not angry about them being reunited, but I do question where's this lead? Oh, okay. Where's this lead? I wasn't a fan at the time because I was still emotional about their goodbye in season 2. Yes. But here's where I disagree with you, Skid. Is the Mandalorian season 2, finale with Luke Skywalker and all that emotional stuff was like November-ish of 2019 or 2020? 2020. The beginning of the Book of Boba Fett, so when the Luke Skywalker episode aired, was 2022. So it was already like 2 years later, or a year and a half-ish, a year and a couple months. So it was already a year since that emotional scene took place. So I had enough time, I feel like personally, had enough time to kind of cope with that whole thing of Din and Grogu getting split up and missing them two together for a whole year, that I was like, I'm ready for them to get back together. And when they got back together in the Book of Boba Fett, I was like, yes, this is how it should be. So I wasn't really affected by it all too much. Raheem's World says, big question. We all love Grogu, but what if there's a chance of something with him causing him to turn to the dark side? Let me reread that because I can't speak English. Big question. We all love Grogu, but what if there's a chance if something within him causes him to turn to the dark side? So there's that big theory. What if Grogu turns to the dark side? Now that would be crazy. In Star Wars Politics saying he's probably going, he's got the sources right now. He's got the sources confirmed. Grogu is a dark side user. So no. Grogu is gone for like 20 years. 15 to 20 years-ish. From Order 66 to the beginning of The Mandalorian. Now, who he's with kind of depends on how he is. Is he dark side? Is he light side? Is he in between? Ahsoka Tano not wanting to train him because of his clouded visions and all that stuff is kind of concerning. And she said that she saw it in Anakin. She didn't want to. She's seen what it has done to a fully trained Jedi Master in Anakin Skywalker, and that's why she didn't want to train him, which is concerning. Luke also kind of just shoot him away. He gave him the option, but he shoot him away and didn't train him. So maybe Grogu being rejected by two former Jedi, maybe that is cause for him to turn to the dark side. Also, if he was training or with Palpatine for all those many years, all that dark side energy is going to either pay off on him. Being experimented on clearly can't be a good life to live. So maybe he is turning to the dark side, which would be absolutely insane. Literally wild. Star Wars Politics says there's a lot of apathy with Star Wars right now. Yeah, true. I see where you're at with that, because it's like, what's going on and why is everybody so angry? That's kind of where I'm at with Star Wars, is why is everybody so mad all the time? Like, why can't we just be happy every once in a while to be a Star Wars fan, to get the content that we enjoy? For real. Yeah, that's where we're at. Let me close this poll. Where did this poll end up at? 80% of you say yes to the fact that we're going to get a second season of the Book of Boba Fett. And I agree with you. I definitely think that's where we're at with the Book of Boba Fett. It's most likely going to get a second season. Now, that'll probably be announced at Star Wars Celebration this year. Is anybody going to Star Wars Celebration this year? I'm pretty sure it's in London. I think April 17th or something, or along those lines. I'm definitely not going. London is very far from me, and that sounds like a whole lot of money that we don't yet have here at the channel. I'm hoping someday soon, some year soon, to be able to go to the Star Wars Celebration and give you guys a great news from there. But for now, I am not going. Anybody going to Star Wars Celebration? Anybody? 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 Star Wars Celebration, London, April. What do we think we're going to get for announcements from that? Do you think we'll get a Book of Boba Fett announcement? Do you think we'll get a movie announcement? So here's the thing about the Star Wars movies. We're supposed to still get one in 2025, which is still 2 years away. Still 2 years away. Still 2 years away. 2025, the next Star Wars movie. But it's so far away now that it's like, what the heck? But it's most likely going to be sequels. So I got two things to talk about here, two articles to pull up. But Star Wars Politics brings up a very important detail right here. He says, "Who's the girl, Mike?" We haven't forgot. So I'm sure you guys know that there's a... Skits says, "Nah, I can't afford Star Wars Celebration." I agree with you, Skits. There was a girl in that breakdown video of the revealing video or whatever it's called of the lightsaber that I got. We're going to keep her a mystery. Might use her in some more thumbnails. Maybe even put her in a video. A girl who loves Star Wars. Wild. Raheem says, "I can tell you there will be a lot of mind-blowing announcements at Celebration." Raheem coming in with the huge news. Huge mind-blowing announcements at Star Wars Celebration. Okay. Now we're talking. Mind-blowing announcements. Now, that obviously would mean sequel movies. That's for sure. It would mean Book of Boba Fett Season 2, maybe. It would mean maybe some High Republic news. Maybe a live-action High Republic. We could be talking about... See, huge news is kind of crazy. A Mandalorian movie, like leading up to a huge movie. You could see more Mandoverse announcements. Maybe, I don't know. Raheem, what the hell are you talking about? That's what I want to know. But we got some cool other news here. First off being this. It's very quick. We'll just get in and out of it. New data reveals LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga sales versus the 2020 top games. So Star Wars, LEGO Star Wars, did any of you guys play the Skywalker Saga? I've been wanting to stream it. We've been talking about streams, maybe Friday night streams or Saturday night streams for video games, doing Jedi Fallen Order leading up to Jedi Survivors on the channel, which would be a lot of fun. But also LEGO Star Wars is in that rotation, would be cool. You didn't play Star Wars Politics? You didn't play the LEGO Star Wars? So here's where it lined up with, it's cool because it's got all these expansion packs now, like the Bad Batch. You got other cool things like that. So here's where it landed on top 10 highest selling video games of 2022, which is actually pretty surprising. So Call of Duty at the top, no surprise there. Elden Ring, which I think won Game of the Year, could be wrong, at number 2, which I've heard is really good, never actually played it. Madden is up at number 3, which is kind of surprising to me. God of War, which has been hotly anticipated since the 4th one, I think, or the 5th one, whatever it was. I haven't played any of them, but I've heard it's really good. Star Wars Theory plays those, I think, on his gaming channel a lot. But LEGO Star Wars is sitting at number 5. It beat Pokemon, it beat FIFA, it beat Horizon, Forza Horizon, it beat MLB. It's at number 5, which proves yet again that Star Wars fans just want Star Wars games. They want Star Wars games to play. They want Star Wars content to take in. They want fun, cool Star Wars things. That's all we want as Star Wars fans. And I can guarantee you that Jedi Survivors is going to be at the top of that list, or at least the top 2 or 3 by the end of this year. So I think for sure that Disney just has to create more Star Wars video games. That's what people want to watch. That's what people want to play. That's what people want to do is Star Wars. You got the brand. You got the money. Give us more. We want more games. We want more shows. We want more movies. We want more mind-blowing announcements at Star Wars Celebration, Raheem. But I got one other thing to show here. Oops. It's not only that. Not only that. Oops. Go back. What the heck? There we go. Disney's top 10 best movies and shows coming into 2023. Now this is an article, again, from the Direct. February will be another banner month for Disney Plus as the streaming service continues its march to market dominance. So Disney Plus is by far one of the biggest, or if not the biggest streaming platforms now with the most subscribers to it, but it's still losing money, which is still crazy. So Disney's streaming hub currently sits at over 160 million subscribers. Can we get 160 million subscribers on this channel? Let's try hit the subscribe button, please. Just 160 million times. That would be fantastic. Thank you guys so much. As of Disney's Q4 2022 results, with plenty of new content from Marvel and Star Wars and beyond hitting the platform on the near weekly basis. So with the new month just around the corner, here are 10 titles hitting Disney Plus to keep an eye on for February. This is the upcoming month. On February 1st, Wakanda Forever is supposed to drop if you're a Marvel fan. Don't know what that is. We're just going to go right past it. This is nope, don't care. Nope, don't care. Where are the Star Wars at? Here we go. Bad Batch Season 2, February 1st is 8th, 15th, 22nd, all on Wednesdays. You're going to get new episodes of that. And that's pretty much it, I think, for the Star Wars news. Unless I'm mistaken. What, they're making an up thing? Cool. It's a Marvel thing? Whatever that is. Yeah, so that's the only Star Wars thing, I think. Voice is right. Oh, the voice. Okay. Yeah, so the only Star Wars thing coming out in the month of February is just 4 episodes of the Bad Batch. And that is all we get from Star Wars in February. But March is going to go ham. It's going to go insane. Starting off the first of the month with The Mandalorian starting. And then like a week later is the book for the Jedi Survivor game, which is supposed to be a prequel leading into that. And then the Jedi Survivor game comes out a week later. So March is going to go insane, and then going into April, which is Celebration. We just talked about that. Raheem says, I'm trying so hard to enjoy Lego Star Wars. Why is it hard to enjoy? But I can't. What? Star Wars? No, Lego Star Wars is fun. I don't like playing games by myself. That's my only problem with it, is it's only by yourself. You can't really play online, or you can't play at all online. So I don't like playing by myself. But that's why I think if I streamed with you guys, and you guys watched, and we talked, I would have way more fun. Way more fun. Mr. Sean 2000! I'm so hyped for the Jedi Survivor game. Yes, I agree. Mr. Sean 2000 is a dear, dear friend of mine. Please go give him some love on his channel. Yes, Star Wars is going to be absolutely insane going into March, going into April with Celebration, and going into May, where we hopefully will get the Ahsoka show. Hopefully. Here's hoping. Bilbo Baggins. I love playing. Okay. Let's get him out of there. Couch co-op Lego Star Wars next week. Yeah, we gonna stream that, Mister? For sure. For sure. Is there any other Star Wars news? I mean, we're coming up on an hour and a half here. Might get on out of here. Let's see. We talked about the droids. We talked about... Alright, you guys are... Yeah. Alright, we're going to get on out of here before the... Yeah, I know it's you, but your comment was mean. Okay. Ignore these hooligans. Thanks, Raheem. Or are you talking to Mr. Sean? That would be hilarious. Raheem, go check out Mr. Sean. He would love it. He would love it. All right, I'm going to get on out of here. We talked about everything we need to talk about. Watch out for the video tomorrow. We talked about this on Tuesday, but we're doing What If Fridays. It was going to be What If Wednesdays, but you guys really told me how that was a terrible idea, because Wednesdays is when all the shows come out, and we don't want that. So we're going to do What If Fridays. What If Fridays instead, because it doesn't have the same W, What If Wednesdays, but there's just way too much going on Wednesdays, so we're doing What If Fridays. And tomorrow's going to be What If Anakin did not win the pod race? What would go down in the galaxy if Anakin Skywalker died in that pod race to Saboba? Saboba pulled out with that dub. So we'll talk about that tomorrow in the video. Does anybody want to tell Bilbo what the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise is before we get out of here? Somebody tell him. Vaderverse survived Windu. So that's kind of what Star Wars Theory's doing on his channel. Hey, we just hit 10 viewers, sick. We were just talking about if Mace Windu survived, if we actually thought they did, and the vote was 100% yes. We talked about that. But, yeah, Mace Windu surviving would be cool. Him versus Vader would not kind of work, because that would kind of just destroy all of canon. But it would explain how Mace Windu would actually die. Because if Mace Windu comes back, saves Grogu, or however they want to do it, him dying to Vader would be pretty cool. But they want to set him up for a bad Book of Boba Fett Season 2, which would be way cooler. Nobody? Tragedy of Darth Plagueis? No. The sequels are the best Star Wars films. I respect your opinion, but you're wrong. What if Yoda took Grogu? Well, Yoda is fighting Palpatine at the time. And what if Grogu was a clone of Yoda? Whoa. I think Yaddle and Yoda had some off-screen time, and that's how Grogu appeared. But a clone of Yoda would kind of be cool. But why would his name be Grogu then? Why would his name not just be Yoda? Plus, he's already 50 years old by the time of The Mandalorian. I just don't see it. Team up of Ahsoka and Rex after Rebels meeting. You mean like during the original trilogy? Ahsoka's kind of like in the world between worlds for a while. She does her own thing. She's not really involved. Shiv Patel says, I love Rose. Rose is the best Star Wars character by far. Okay, I respect your opinion, but again, yep, you're wrong. In my opinion, is fact. We've been over that many times. Skid says, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Yeah, no, he wants to hear the whole thing. You gotta give him the whole thing, Skids. Gotta give him the whole thing. He wants to hear it. Hurry before I get on out of here. I gotta edit that video, and I gotta go meet these hooligans and figure out what that buzzsaw was. Mr. What were we talking about with the Ahsoka and Rex thing? Rex survives Rebels, right? Yeah, he does. He survives Rebels, so he keeps going. He's supposed to be the guy in Return of the Jedi, but it doesn't really make sense to me. I don't see it at all. I don't see it. Okay, now that we got more people here, you guys tell me, because Raheem was trying to explain to us that Millie Bobby Brown was going to be Leia in The Mandalorian Season 3. Do we see the resemblance? This is Carrie Fisher, of course. Carrie Fisher's Leia Organa. And this is Millie Bobby Brown. So Millie Bobby Brown has been rumored to... Thought not. It's not a story I would tell. Oh, kids, what happened? So this is Leia Organa, and this is Millie Bobby Brown. Anybody? 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 See, I just think they should deep fake it. It just doesn't seem like it would be cool. But I don't know. Mr. says Rex and Ahsoka team up from a mission to save somebody they used to see a lot in the Clone Wars. What? Like a kid of a senator? What are you talking about? You lost me there, Mr. You lost me. Skids, he wants to hear the whole tale. Gotta give it to him. But it would be cool, I guess, to see Rex and Ahsoka show, but that's highly unlikely. A Rebels 2, maybe? There you go. You guys give him the whole thing, though. You gotta give him the whole thing. Yeah, Mr. You lost me and you lost yourself, so I don't know what to tell you. All right, we're going to get on out of here. Raheem says she always wanted to play Leia. Really? Look at the deep fake of her as Leia. Is there a deep fake of Millie Bobby as Leia? Millie Bobby Brown is Leia. Let's see it. Millie Bobby Brown's Leia. Is there a deepfake you're talking about specifically, Raheem? Oh, wow. Is this what you're talking about? Actually, it kind of does look like her. Oh, wow. That actually looks terrible, but I don't know if this is what you're talking about. Look, like that's Millie Bobby on the right. I don't know. I guess I kind of see it, but I would hate it. I want just the deepfake. Deepfake it. We talked about it. Deepfake it. Yeah, no, Raheem, I hate it. I honestly hate it really bad. There you go. There's the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. And with that, I'm going to get on out of here. Hour and a half. Yikes. I'm at a loss for words. All right. Smash like button. Hit subscribe. May the force be... Oh, wait. Hang on. Smash like button. Now. Immediately. Hit that subscribe so you see my face in your recommended feed of yours. All right. Stay tuned for that What If tomorrow. Stay tuned for the streams every Tuesday, every Thursday. We'll be here, and Raheem will be giving us all the goods. And of course, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and wise that he could see using the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. And may the Force be with you. Always. Oh wait. Skid says. Oh, he's still going with this thing. Okay, let's get complete the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Hang on. Okay, may the Force be with you.